There was only one sell rating on Microsoft, and now there are none. Guggenheim is upgrading the software giant to neutral now, the firm citing a tailwind around the positive generative AI narrative. The share's not gaining much today on this as Guggenheim sort of throws in the towel. Just to give some perspective here, there are 54 buys on Microsoft and now 7 holds. There were 6 holds and 1 sell, so that last sell now no longer in place. But obviously you can tell from those numbers that the sentiment surrounding the company is overwhelmingly positive. And now Guggenheim saying they kind of can't argue with what we've seen from that enthusiasm around.
It's usually these kinds of reports that top take everything, but it just kind of feels that way. But if we go to the Wi-Fi Interactive, I'm going to do a quick chart on Microsoft because it has really held its ground better than some of the other mega caps. And this is a year-to-date look. That's why, this is how much are off their 52-week lows. Microsoft up 48%. And here is the year-to-date chart. You can see there's kind of a neckline right here. A lot of charts looking like this. We'll have to see what comes. I don't want to read too much into this, but this has been a definite stalwart and a recipient of a lot of the artificial intelligence largesse in the capital markets. Also got a talk about CarMax. Wedbush upgrading its rating on CarMax's stock, and now it's an outperform. And this is ahead of the company's earnings. The firm saying inflection in growth and market share performance is nearing. I've looked at the automakers this year, not the automakers, the auto sellers this year. And if we could go to the Wi-Fi Interactive one more time, I'm going to show you what's happened year to date. So CarMax is in the upper left, and you can see everything green. They've had really a banner year, 27.7%, and really not off of its highs by that much. For all the talk about inflated used car prices and new car prices and all of that, we really haven't seen a lot of dents in some of these auto manufacturers, these used car stocks.
The next question is going to be for the auto dealers, not so much on the used side, but on the new side. What effect is the strike going to have, right? Are they getting the inventory that they want to sell through? What effect is that going to have on the used car market dynamics as well? So all of that's sort of feeding in. I'm really curious when CarMax next reports, when all these dealers next report, what kind of commentary are we going to hear, especially as the auto strike stretches on?
Yeah, I think so. And are people who are desperate for cars, and I don't know how many are in the situation, but you remember in the early days of the pandemic, we had people who were just desperate for cars, willing to pay any price. That I guess inflation narrative is pretty much dead. But I'm surprised by some of the resiliency that we're seeing in some of these stock prices. Got to move on to the IPO market. The latest, so the initial public offering market showing signs of fatigue after a nascent restart. And this is amid some of the broader weakness that we're seeing in the market. Stocks on track for their worst monthly performance this year. You look at some of the, all of those three looks like they closed higher today. And if I go to, let's see if I can get to the Wi-Fi Interactive one more time on the IPOs.
You're going to set a record today, Joe.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let's go to ARM Holdings here. I'm going to pull up, if I show a 3-month chart, that's going to be enough to show the entire history there. You can see that uptick right there, but down 14.39%. We can go to Instacart, Klaviyo, kind of similar stories here. I don't want to say that the capital markets are thawing too much because we just barely got this restart here. But it is a bit ominous because we had almost no activity last year. Finally, things get started this year. And then the month of August, we get a bit of a downturn in the market. September kind of continuing that. I think October, we're going to inflect upwards in October again. The capital markets with IPOs, they kind of rise and fall with whatever the S&P 500 is doing.
Yeah.
Well, in a broad sense.
Just to make 2 comments on this. First of all, there was this whole narrative around the ARM IPO in particular that everybody was going to be watching the first day, and that would potentially open the floodgates for more IPOs. And we did end up seeing Instacart and Klaviyo. But on the flip side, are those in the capital markets really just watching that first day, or are they watching a little bit longer to figure out if they want to put their toe in the water? That's thing one. Thing two is I've been watching the Renaissance IPO ETF, which tracks new issues. It doesn't have these in them yet, I don't think, because it takes a little while for them to enter the index. But it's down 15% since its peak on July 31st. It's actually been performing quite well this year. It's up 25%, but then has rolled over since we've had these big high-profile IPOs.
Yep, with the kind of ebbs and flows with the general market.
Yes, true. Exactly.